Welcome to Inspire. I am MEejie.
And I'm Patti.
Thank you for being with us today. Patti and I have created this program, this talk show, in order to inspire you, because we have become inspired by our guests and the people that we feature. Great stories that really give us that motivation and that zest to go out and pursue our dreams, or look at life in a different way, in a positive way, or even simply just to see the great people in our lives or in our communities who are taking chances at doing innovative, creative things, but also giving back to what we call the existence of our living, which is humanity, right? Relationships. That's why we're here. So we're wanting to create a movement where when we're inspired, okay, and we bring these guests to you, you become inspired and you go out there and inspire others. So thank you for being with us today.
Yeah, we're so happy you're here. And the goal of our show really was to invite people and share amazing stories and uplift your soul and eventually make a change on the world in that way and connect like-minded people. So we've been so blessed because there have been amazing people that have joined us on this show, as you know. And today I am so excited because I have my very good friend Victor Gutierrez and Erik Vasquez, who are here from Donde Estamos, and so many other things that they've done. I've known Victor.
Thank you for inviting us.
I've known Victor since he was little. We grew up together, and to see you over the years, because I really admire what you've accomplished.
Well, thank you, Patti. I appreciate it. Yeah.
As a chiropractor, as a musician, I mean, you've taken those piano lessons, and
you used to be awesome at piano. Let's put it. You had a stronger left-hand bass. And I used to go to your house. I'd be like, I got to start developing my muscles in my life, because I used to play chords straight like that. I was more worried about melodies, but you used to rock those music sheets.
I have never, ever heard her play, so we have got to do that and gift our audiences with your talents.
I have a little keyboard.
But Donde Estamos, or Donde Está is the name of...
It's where we are. Okay. Donde Estamos. If it was a Donde Estamos, it would be of a question, like, hey, where are we? Okay. But this is more definitive, where we are.
So why that name?
Because we need to reflect where we are in ourselves, either mentally and physically, right? We have to always say, okay, you know, in American culture, it's always like the exterior is the most important thing, right? So if you're not happy, you know, obviously you want to go on a diet, or if your blood pressure's up, you know, stop taking that salt. But more importantly for me, it's mentally, because the brain can break down the body, as you know. So you have to look at where you are mentally, if you need to turn to spirituality for that, which I love meditating. I do TM.
That's short for transcendental meditation.
Which, you know, when I meditate, I picture a white, bright room, because when you're just imagining that, you're not thinking of anything else. And in Tibetan Buddhism, they say focus on your breathing, because when you just focus on breathing, you're not thinking about, oh, my car needs to change that oil. I got to change that oil. My kid needs to get picked up. So, TM is great to slow down the body and reset yourself.
So, Victor, I take it from Patti that you are an amazing chiropractor who has managed to combine the skill of your music and the skill of your heart and your vision of desire to unify communities and people into a practice. But I am trying to understand, obviously you have here a practice, and you also have a band. So tell us how this came about and the merge, because Patti just rages about you, and I met you. I was on. You know, I met you one time, and I just thought it was awesome.
He adjusts my whole family, even little Brianna.
So,
that's great.
So the playing fields consist of South Plainfield, where Patti and I are from, and there's Plainfield and North Plainfield. When I went down to grad school, there's one Spanish restaurant, you know, in Plainfield, right? And when I came back, every few months, there'd be 2, 3 on the same block. Now there's probably like 30 or 40, and there's probably 2 going up tomorrow. And through the business acumen of my Jewish friends, they're like, Vic, your last name is Gutierrez. Just put that on the side of a building and watch them come in. Wow. It's got 9 letters. Just put Gutierrez, right? So it was true. Like we outgrew my first office in 2 months. I had to like cancel the lease and move into the new building that I'm at that I own at 525. I want to advertise at 525 Park Avenue. I didn't plan that. But it's great. And so I work with the blue collar people who play soccer on the weekends, who work in the factories, who have to work outside. And those are the people who, and this is, my friends, God bless them, they're selling their practices, they're retiring, doing other things. And I said, just learn a little Spanish, man. Y tú sabes, la gente va a venir because
people will come.
The people will come. See, Spanish people, if they see you just struggling to communicate with them, you've won their heart. You go to him, he's great. They can feel that love. So he was a patient of mine a few years ago.
Here you go.
And he was hurt, and I had just not been in the band for a minute, and he goes, I play, and you want to tell the story? You're good.
Yeah, I think it was a little different than that. So I'm on the, how do you call it, the bench or bed? What is it?
He's on the bench,
the bench,
chiropractic
right?
table.
He gets a phone call, right? While I'm there waiting to get treated. And he's talking about music with somebody else. So that kind of catch my ear, and I said, right after he was finished, I said, I play drums. He didn't believe me. He was like, okay, whatever. Because he probably met a lot of drummers, a lot of musicians and stuff. So I said, no, really, I do play drums. I went to school for it. Wow. He still didn't believe me.
You get jaded after a while.
Yeah. But it didn't happen up until the following week when I came back to your practice. Mm-hmm. He gave me a couple of songs he had. I liked them. And I'm very picky of picking songs that I like, especially with somebody that I don't even know. But I like the songs. I said, hey, you got something going on, so why don't we just get together one day and show you what I have? Well, I don't have a room. He had a room, but he didn't want to show me that. That was back in your house.
Well, but when you're in business, you kind of have to do that because you're worried about who you invite. It's like your home.
Correct.
You just have to open up, and people were conditioned to do that.
Who is this guy?
We know that's why you did it. So he's an amazing, amazing guy.
Yeah, and so it was just him in this little room, like probably 3-4 times of this room, right?
Yeah, small.
I'm playing cajon, he's playing guitar, and we just fall in love right there.
Yeah, it was very toy boxy. Like it's like bing, 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 and he's tapping on his cajon, dun, 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 but you can hear it where it's going, And like, all right, this sounds really good. So that's where it started, and and here we are.
Here we are. I was about to say that.
So your band has grown.
Yeah.
And you have,
absolutely. Right after me, he brought this amazing guy, Max Mellies.
Yeah, you'll see him on the screen later.
Yeah, he's. I have a lot of respect for him. He's a good friend, good musician, very humble.
Yeah.
And I keep telling him the world needs to hear what you have. Because he's got some good stuff in those fingers.
And you have someone else, right? You have
and then James came on board. James, another guy that I respect, I love very much, and I'm very happy to be here.
I can feel the energy, and I am ready to just rumble. Right? We're ready to just tap.
You'll like it.
Let's let the music speak for itself. Can you introduce the song? We'll take a little break and listen to one of your songs. Okay,
our first song is called Esa Negrita, written a couple of years ago. And get ready to dance, because I know you'll like it.
Okay, enjoy.
That was
amazing.
amazing. It's unbelievable.
Thank
I
you
just
so
wanted
much.
to dance. I wanted to keep on moving.
Yeah.
My energy is up here, and I need to calm down
What a
because I mean,
compliment.
just. But thank you. You really. I always often say to people,
Yeah.
what makes your senses come alive, and definitely that made my
Yeah.
senses come alive. So thank you.
I think the beat. Thanks, Erik. I never told you this. Thank you for putting that beat to that song. You found
You got it, pal.
Appreciate it, man. So yeah, I'm glad you liked it.
Great synergy, right?
Yeah, you are so dynamic, and
Thank
you know what I
you.
love about what you're doing is you have passionate messages, you know. And I wanted to ask you about, how do you come up with the lyrics? I know you you have fatherhood has helped you evolve.
Yeah.
You know, I know you've always been an amazing person, but
Yeah,
I've seen you
totally.
change over the years with your beautiful little sonata.
Well, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Hey, Sonny. So for that song that we just played, I didn't want the songs to hit you flat in the face, like boom, this, because I wanted to be tactful about it. So that song is a love letter to a certain established, not necessarily here, but everywhere in the world, someone has something to disagree with their leaders, and it's okay to speak up, because that's how things are. Let me go down this rabbit hole. Like, you're not supposed to ever stop, and as an artist, I believe it's your responsibility if you want to. But I totally believe that I need to. I can't stay quiet, because if you stay quiet, they say you're part of the problem, right? Look at Winona Ryder. Who typed in this? Alyssa Milano just wrote "Me Too"
Ah, yeah.
in response to a little.
That's wonderful.
2 words changed the world, and now we treat women forever in
Way
a
to
certain
lead,
way.
right? You
And
just by contributing to what someone
Hashtag-
who's doing something great,
Yeah.
just contributing, you're helping them lead.
Exactly.
You're acknowledging and validating, and what better people than people in the in the community,
Sure.
community and the media and music
Right.
and the eye of
And isn't it's beautiful that just 2 little words changed. And I have a little daughter now, so it's like she's coming into it the right time, So I'm really thankful that thoughts and words changed that. So going back to what I was saying with Esa Negrita, on the surface, it's just a gentleman writing a love letter to his girlfriend, which is La Negrita. She's very difficult to get along with, and he's saying, "I just want to get along with you. Take me back to the time when you guys were when we were cool." You know what I mean? And and that's really about the immigrant saying, "Hey, listen, we just want to be part of you. We just want to be loved."
Negrita, Patti, in the context of the way it's said, it's a term of endearment, a term of love. It has absolutely nothing to do with racial division or segregation or anything. It just has to do with little doll or little darling. So I think it's important to say that, because that's the message that we want to spread. It's unification. We're not segregation. And so it's just,
it's a very
like a papi or a mamita. And it's just love, endearing terms that have absolutely nothing to do with anything other than, I care about you, and I'm calling you names because I care about you. So Erik.
Yes.
You're helping spread this synergy that you guys have. Patti speaks bounds about the 2 of you. So what is it that you envision the people who come to your concerts or to listen to your music to walk away with? What is it that you want to say?
When I was a little kid, somebody said something to me when I said I wanted to be a musician. Somebody said to me, "When you're up there, make sure you become a teacher."
Wow.
A teacher, okay. So what is that supposed to mean?
Profound.
Right? So every time I perform, I try to give my best. So if there's a little kid trying to play drums or anything, so I want to be an inspiration for somebody else, like your show.
Wow. You are an inspiration already. Jeez.
And you've taken it on the road. You've gone internationally and performed, right?
Yeah. Something with good songwriting and the right ears who've heard him. We've gotten big shows. I pinch myself, because 3 years ago I was just like, every musician dreams of opening up for big bands coming through here. That's like that's you making it, quote unquote, until you become that. And just very easily, like, here, check this out. They're like, boom, you're our band now. We want you to play in front of these big bands that are coming through here. And it's just a blessing.
I have to believe that part of that success has to do with the mission, has to do with the intent, has to do with what you actually want to give others. So you're giving of yourselves. You happen to be great musicians, but when you give of you, that's when people want more of you, because they're great bands, but the fact that the combination, which is what you're doing with your business and, you know, as a chiropractor and your music, and you're just really spreading a message.
Right.
And Patti, how would you describe what you have experienced firsthand from this combination? Please tell us.
Well, I've always thought really highly of Victor. You know, I've known him so long. I feel like he's my brother. You know, he makes me laugh like when you know someone so well and they know you. And so he's a healer by nature. You know, he's a problem solver and he wants to touch and change the world.
Right. Yeah,
and I see him doing that. And, you know, it's not like, oh, you get comfy as a doctor or, you know, in a profession and then, okay, I'm good, I'll, you know, go get a boat someday. It's like, let's take it to the next level. I've always wanted to, you know, have a band and travel, and now you're doing that, and it's not the end. There's more and there's more. So,
so the mission, the mission is to be of service, impact lives, and really make a living doing what you absolutely believe you need to do. Be of service, right?
Yes, absolutely. When we had a band meeting, they're like, "What do you want to do?" And I said, "I want to write YMCA." And I'll tell you why.
Exactly what you said.
I'll tell you why. Because when you're old, 20, 30 years from now, you'll get booked at festivals. Just play that one darn song. And it's a paid trip, blah, blah, blah. And, you know, but...
I love that song.
And, yeah, it's a great song, you know. But one thing I want to tell your audience, I've never been afraid to look, quote, unquote, crazy. Like, don't be afraid to... Because if you...
I think you and I can hang.
Yeah, because I'll tell you, I was in Mexico, right? And there's this big band called Molotov, you know, and they're from Mexico, and they're playing a big stadium, and I'm like, call them, I want to open up for them, right? And like, I just like, who says that? You're like, who has the courage to say that?
You do.
Yeah. So they're looking at me like, you know, you're just a little band coming through here. No, but I eventually met with they're like, listen, they're doing an acoustic set. We can't have you there. And it's not going to happen. Well, guess who we're opening up for when they're coming next week?
Are you serious?
Molotov. Yeah.
Okay, can we come?
Absolutely.
Oh, but please.
Yeah,
I'm
we'll put you on the guest list. Are you serious?
You think I'm kidding?
Vamos.
You think I'm kidding? I'm there.
All right, cool.
We'll talk later, okay. Yeah, we can't say when, but you know, we'll tell our audience this later on how to find you, where to follow you, and we'll be there.
So please, in the most smart way, be crazy all the time, and just don't be afraid to ask.
Take a chance, right? Take a chance, because
That's
you
all
can go
I'm
to bed
saying.
and say, "I didn't try."
Right.
And then that's going to, I didn't try.
Yeah.
But if you can go to bed and say, I tried, right?
Exactly.
So what's the worst that can happen? That you stay in the same place, or that someone says, look at that fool. But who cares what they say, right?
Yeah.
I know. How many of you are saying, look at that fool? I absolutely love it. I think it's fantastic. And I really think, and I thank you for the courage to share that, because it is important to let people to embrace who they are.
Sure.
And if that's what people think crazy, I say, that's not crazy, that's just passion.
That's right.
So
you just encourage people to go for their dreams. Like anytime I come for an appointment, it's like, what do you do now? What do you do next?
Yeah,
I mean,
it's exciting stuff.
It's the way to look at the world is really wonderful. And you talk about being a teacher, and it seems like you're learning a lot too.
Yes, I am.
I noticed that about my good friend here. He's always learning.
Yeah.
It sounds like you're a
good
good
learner.
team.
I know. Learning and a good teacher.
well, Patti is a teacher by nature, and that's what, you know, and I think that you alluded to something like that when, indirectly, if I may, when you spoke about her playing the piano and this connection. She taught you to pay attention to something that was great in another person around you, and for you to just have that inquisition. So you are a motivator and an inspiration by nature, which is why you're sitting next to me. But so I think that's the message. You never know what anybody else can teach you. You never know what their greatness is, because we are born in greatness, with greatness, and for greatness, right? That's really, and we say that all the time. So, Patti, what is it that you get from being around Victor and Erik and the rest of the band? What is it that you get? Because I want to know.
I definitely get inspiration. I am inspired always by you and what you're doing. And I think what I love most, I love being around real people. I mean real in the sense of not an ego or having on airs or trying to be someone you're not, or have ulterior motives. I never got that vibe from you. And you know, I think, you know, I see, you know, Brianna, my youngest, with all her disabilities, this beautiful little thing, also a patient. She is so inspired by music. Like, she's nonverbal, she has hearing impairments, all these impairments. But when she hears a beat, when she hears your music, she's moving. You know, and this music, it doesn't need words. You know, it's amazing what you're doing, what you're giving to people, the world.
So the universal language in that vibration is felt, as you were saying before, in your body. And even though she cannot rationalize, perhaps, you know, what happens, she can feel it and she can engage, and she knows that instantly she wants to surrender. I do something's called movement surrender. So she could surrender to the movement of her uniqueness according to what matters to her, what she finds pleasing.
Exactly. So. Patti, it just hit me right now that, you know, when I was going over to your house to hang out with your brother, like, I was just doing classical music. And she would teach us theory, you know, chord theory and arpeggios and scales. But it was me hearing your left hand on these show tunes, on these like tunes that you had sheet music that you would buy. And then I promptly went out and got those. And that's how I fell in love with songwriting, which is why I'm here now. Because of
you see, so
go,
Patti.
It was your left hand, so let me shake it.
Thank
you, left hand. Feel that energy.
You know what? This is amazing, because I don't think that my dear friend here, I tell her all the time, and just I tell this to a lot of people, the people that I love. But if you could only see yourself with the eyes of those who love you and know you, you would really understand that you are really embracing your mission and you're changing lives. You're impacting. You're really creating a thread of followers because of what you do. People watch you. All he did was watch you. That's it. And how many years later are you sharing this?
10 years later.
Wow. That's amazing. So what's next for you guys?
Well, more ears. We want more ears to hear us, and when we play those big shows like 700-800 people, those are ears that haven't heard us. You know what I mean? Sure, we have our small crowd that comes out, but you know, we thank those promoters for getting us involved. You know, so. And
we have a new album coming up too.
I feel like we just had a baby this weekend. 48 hours of labor. It was the second. It was the second week. We had 1 week a month ago, and then this week, and it's like taking the SATs for 48 hours. And
that's a little bit more like it, because I don't know that you can withstand having a baby.
I know. Well, the reason why I use that analogy is because like something came out of you, and
nice.
And like I'm still tired, and I'm just like, and it's gonna be good. Hopefully, you know, like when we have a kid, everything's gonna be great. But the producer just got everything out of us, and do it again.
Good.
Like something as little as clapping. Like he wanted like 15 takes on just clapping. Like, but
the product will be amazing.
It is,
right?
Yes, it is.
The product will be amazing.
Absolutely.
So and
you have a beautiful website too. Can you just tell us what it is?
Okay, thank you. It's www.dondeestamosrock.com, and that's where you'll find all our info, our music, our links, and our photos, and what we're about, and our message, and
I just don't want this interview to end.
This
I
is
want to
fun.
stay here. It's so energetic, and I can feel you.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, that's not what we can do right
Yeah.
now. But
It's okay.
hopefully we can have you guys back on the show as you're touring and as you do other things. I want
We'd be
to
happy
learn
to
more
come back.
about
Thank you.
how you're changing and impacting lives. We didn't even get to that topic, and I loved that the connection came full circle, and that's something that I already know, that you have such amazing gifts that you share, and you're quiet about them, that somebody else was able to tell you here how you have impacted them, because all of a sudden it's just like, you see, and you didn't even know.
Right.
So
It's mutual admiration.
Thank you, Patti.
so thank you for being with us.
And thank you. I am Patti, and this is
And MEejie.
and we have Victor and Erik, and what we're going to do is share more music. So we'll roll out the show with more music from Donde Estamos
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you.
And thank you. We'll see you next week.
on Inspire.
Bye.
Parfait,